Hi everyone, my name is Dana. Today we're going to be talking about how to teach your dog tricks in a way that doesn't make your dog realize the tricks are optional. Obviously, with every different breed, there are different struggles. So even if you do this properly and you have a very low drive dog, they might still be like, nah. But this is still a good way to kind of prevent it on your end from making them realize that all these things are optional. So with teaching anything, I always do my best to not use the command until my dog is doing it consistently without the command. So say sit. I will lure. Yes, good sit. So then that way, they're only being rewarded for sitting, and they're not being asked to sit, so if they don't sit, no harm done. So then that way, you're not saying sit right from the beginning, and your dog's already not sitting because they don't know what sit is, but it's setting that connection where sit means sit sometimes. So with stay, I really do my best to not say stay for a very long time, because when you're teaching stay, I do distractions, distance, distractions, more distance, then duration. That's my kind of step-by-step on how I teach stay. So stays at first are very, like, just me in front of my dog, and I move side to side, and I don't ask for anything. But if they stay there, yes, good stay. So for example, say she were to get up for some reason, I can just go, nope, put her back where she was, and keep on doing that thing until, yes, good stay, and she gives me what I want. So that's the one thing is, for stays especially, if your dog does get up, even if you're not telling them stay, make sure you still are putting them back almost exactly where they were as fast as you can, because dogs have 5-second brains, and if it takes longer than 5 seconds to correct that, they won't put 2 and 2 together. So just really make sure that you're actively doing that and actively preventing any realization that they can just get up and move. So then once my dog is able to consistently handle me walking around them, even skipping, some jumping, some stomping, clap, 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 just do crazy things. And I didn't ask her to stay, she just did that. And her stay command is actually wait. But she handled all that without me asking her to do anything. So that's a yes, good wait, what a good girl. And just things like that. So once they're doing that consistently, then you can say, Emma, wait, and start doing the same things. But just now you're asking her to do that beforehand. What a good wait. And then if they consistently handle you doing that up close to them, then you can start adding distance. So Emma, get it? And I'm not going to ask for anything again, because it's kind of starting over from scratch. Each time you add distance, I would recommend not asking for a stay, because you want to make sure that your dog can do this without ruining your sit. So if you add this distance, you do the circles again, add those distractions, make it a little chaotic, and your dog is doing that. Good wait. And then you can start saying, Ammo, wait. And I left with my wrong foot, I just realized. But then just do the same distractions, and wow, what a good wait. So you realize though that I'm still keeping all of these really short, because stays are super hard for a dog, so I would rather have consistently good short stays with big distractions before I start adding a time duration to them. So eventually, it can just be ammo, wait, you can walk away, you can take your time, I'm gonna grab more treats. And by this point, your dog should be able to handle all this, because when you're adding time, that's when I take away the distractions at first to make your dog's life easier, before we start adding distractions in again. What a very good wait. Free, good girl. So that's something with stays to keep in mind when you're teaching your dog to stay. Always do your best to not use the command until you know that they can handle it without a command. And then with recall, this one's a little tricky, because with recall you kind of have to call your dog, but you don't want it to be something where they realize they can't ignore it. So, I'll be right back. I forgot to grab a leash. That's something where I always say, call your dog once, and if they don't listen the first time, then just reel them into you. Wow, what a good dog. You came to me all by yourself, even though they did. So I'm gonna go free. Go free. Let's see if I can get her not focusing on me. And then say I do call her, but I'm not going to because she will come and call. But I reeled her in. Wow, good, come here, you did it all by yourself. And your dog will realize very quickly that even if you call them and they don't want to come to you, they end up doing it anyways, and they still get a treat, which will make recall very fun for them, and they'll realize that there really isn't an option. So, wow, what a good dog, good, come here. And like I said, if I were to actually call her, she would on a dime, but just pretend I'm not calling her, so I can kind of demonstrate what it looks like to reel them in, even though she's still not exactly doing it. But basically, just make sure every time your dog does come to you, even if they were naughty beforehand, wow, what a good come here, you did it. And that's something too where if your dog doesn't have a 100% certain recall, don't make it where they can get away from you. Until you trust their recall 100%, really make sure that they don't have another option. So leave a leash dragging, a long leash, so then that way if you call them and they go, then all right, you're getting reeled in like a fish until your dog just ends up by you and you go, wow, you came to me all by yourself, good job. Because recall is the tricky one because you don't want coming to you to suck. So even with your dog choosing to not listen, you still have to reward them for being by you. But that's something where you have to use the command and call them to get them to recall and understand what a recall is, unlike most other tricks. So if you have any questions, these are kind of my vital commands that you really don't want to be optional for your dog. And if you do have any more questions pertaining to other tricks, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below. Or if you have anything to add, also feel free to leave them in the comments down below, because I'm all for different ways of training that still get the same result. I'm not the kind of person who conforms to one way of training because all dogs are different and all dogs respond to different trainings differently. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!